tell him, I'm like, well, you didn't say that when I was giving you favors on the way in. He's like, that doesn't count. I was like, oh, really? I said, because 2 weeks ago, I walked over and put my leg up on that middle rope. I said, you left something. And I pulled it out, and he, like, I let it dangle, and people were like, ah! And then he slaps it out of my hand, it goes into the crowd, and the crowd splits and does not go anywhere near it for the rest of the show.
I remember them, the Gathering of the Jugglers.
No, it was a show up in Michigan.
Oh,
it was just some random show in Michigan.
God, that's crazy.
I get in the back, and I kid you not, it was like the most awkward 10 seconds of silence. I get back there, and Violent J and Shaggy's looking at me, and I was like, too much? And they were like, girls, there's something wrong with you. They just walked away. I was like, but you popped, right? And they were like, yes. Yeah. But it was gross. I was like, then I did my job.
It's pretty bad. It's bad when the clowns think something's wrong.
I think I pushed the button, guys. I think I pushed that button a little too hard. But it's okay. It was memorable. People remembered it.
So, yeah, the Gathering of the Jugglers, you worked those, right? What crazy stuff did you say? I've been there, too. Like, tell these guys about that. I mean, you can talk weeks about it.
Oh, wait. I'll talk about the last one that I went to. That was I tripped on mushrooms for 10 hours with Necro Butcher and Chewy Martinez, and it was the best time of my life. Oh, like, we laughed about three things for 10 hours, okay? One of them was Pondo's going to be pissed. We don't know why that was funny, but we kept going, guys, Pondo's going to be pissed. And we would crack up laughing for a good 15, 20 minutes. And I'm like, and then the other one was, we're so fired. Because at that time, I was the only one at JCW had not been fired and rehired. Like, the only one. I don't know how I maintained under the radar that long, but everybody else started the Hot Water Club, and I was not in it. And I was like, okay. And Necro kept teasing me, saying, this is the year you're getting fired. And I'm like, so we're so fired. And the third one is, Chewy has no credentials. Because when Chewy got there, they forgot to give him his pass.
Oh, yeah.
And he had to sneak around the camp.
Yeah.
And because he's Mexican, Necro thought it was the funniest thing to say Chewy has no credentials, and if he gets caught, he's going to get thrown out. And so, like, for 10 hours, that's the three things we laughed about. So after 10 hours of that, I was going back to my campsite, and I was with Chewy, and I had $20, my last $20, because I left the money at my campsite. And I was starving, because we went, like, 12, 14 hours without eating because we were on shrooms. I was like, I need to get some food. And the vendors started opening up. It's early in the morning. And he's like, I'll make you. I was like, I gotta pee. He's like, well, let me hold the money, and you go pee and come back. And I was like, cool, because they had porta potties there, and I didn't want to touch anything. Oh, so I go in the porta potties, and I go pee, and I come out, and he's gone. And I'm like, he stole my $20. So I'm like, never mind. I'll just go back to my campsite. I'm sure, because they cook pork butt in my campsite and everything else. We had a sweet campsite. So on the way back to the campsite, I'm walking like Scott Hall, singing the entrance music out loud. I'm not joking. Like, I'm doing this and going, dun, 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 the whole way back to the campsite. Oh, and so I get back there, and they've got the pork butt on, and they're like, we're getting ready to make a run into town. What do you want? And I'm like, I want Sunny D. For some reason, I was craving Sunny D. I'm like, okay. And as soon as I say that, golf cart pulls up with all these security guards and a girl named Wu, who was like a big gathering person. And she's like, Micky, let's go. And I'm like, mind you, I'm still high on shrooms and some weed. I'm like, sure. So I hop in the back of this cart, and they go really fast down this hill, and then we get to the bottom, and we realize that on the other side of this line is the ICP area, and we don't want to go in there. So then the security people put it in reverse, speed back up this hill, spin this cart around where I feel it go up on two wheels. So now I know this thing's going to flip. And I'm standing in the back of it with the leg that I had previously broken 2 legs years ago, like up in this little crate. I'm like, I'm not going to get caught underneath this thing in the back. So I'm thinking, in my smart way, I can outrun this fall. Don't know why. I thought my fat ass would outrun a fall, but you know what? I tried. So I take a step off, and I'm doing good for about 4 or 5 steps.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And then those tail end of the shroom kick in, and the ground moves out from underneath me, and then I start to tumble. Now I'm in a dress, I'm in a skirt, and a tank top. I don't know if I was wearing underwear, to be honest. So I start tumbling, and then when I land this close to Briar Wellington's campfire. So like I land, and all I hear is Pondo in the background, dying laughing. Because he thought it was just the funniest thing in the world. And then because he's laughing, and I'm still on shrooms, I'm laughing. I don't care I'm bleeding from certain places. I don't care at all. And I'm like, you know what? This is the best. Yeah, that was the best gathering ever. It was the last one I went to, too.
Yeah, those were crazy. What other crazy stuff you saw out there?
Drug Bridge.
Oh, the drug
Bridge was crazy.
Unbelievable, that place.
Like, okay, here's the thing. So I'm a natural person, especially when I was younger. Only thing God made. I don't do, if you do, whatever. But I don't do hard things. I drink beer. I used to, smoke pot, and shrooms was the most extreme thing I've ever done. So I go to this bridge, and Necro sends me with money. And he said after the show tonight, after the midnight show, he wanted to do those shrooms and stuff. So I go to this drug bridge. And there's so many tables that it's like a gimmick table area. You've got like tables all over this side of the bridge, and then tables, and then you got people who don't have tables, who's got their shit on the ground, and they've got like prices and stuff.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen that drum.
I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I don't even, like, I never bought shrooms. I never took shrooms before this. I'm like, I don't even know when to buy it. I'm like, I don't want to go back with like a bad, like, I don't know if I'm supposed to buy caps or stems. I have no idea. So I'm standing there, and this guy walks up. He's like, hey, you're Isabel Smothers. I was like,
Yeah,
when I wrestle, yeah, but I'm Micky right now.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you're cool. He's like, what do you need? And I was like, well, I said, I really need your bullhorn. And he's like, oh. So he gives me a bullhorn. So I'm in the middle of the bridge, and I go, I am looking for mushrooms for myself, Masada, and Necro Butcher. Who's got them? They all just flock to me. So it's the greatest plan ever. And they're all telling me prices and how much and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm buying. And this one guy comes up, he was like, no, I got what you need. I got stems. And the other people are like, fuck that. He's like, and I'll sell it to you for what they're trying to sell you stuff for in more quantity. And I'm like,
okay.
I don't know what I'm buying, but I said, I want your name and where you're going to be, because if this is bad, I'm telling Necro and Masada to find you. So I get this stuff, and I get back, and Necro and Masada's wrestling, and they get out of the ring, and they're like, did you get them? And I show them to him, and he's like, how did you get these? Like, it was like the greatest Christmas present ever. And I'm like, I stood in the middle of the bridge with a bullhorn saying, I need shrooms for me, Necro and Masada. And they were like, really? It worked? And I was like a charm. And he's like, this is the best deal you could have ever got.
Really?
Yeah.
They knew that drug bridge was crazy. I remember going to that gathering Juggalos, and there was a bridge, and just anything goes on the bridge.
Oh my God.
It was like a no man. That gathering at Juggalos, they haven't had it in a couple years, but
I know, because of COVID and stuff.
wherever, you didn't even have to go to watch wrestling or anything. It's a sociological phenomenon just being there.
God, and the concerts. Oh, I watched Bone Thugs and Harmony, and you just saw the layer of smoke in this outdoor, outdoor area. It's a thick layer of smoke above everybody else's head, and everybody's just waving to the music. I was sitting back with the American Kickboxer, Necro, the Hooligans, and I was just watching it. Like, of course, we're smoking too, but I was watching, and I was like, Jesus, I've never seen, like, for everybody saying the Juggalos are a gang or violent people, I've never seen so much peace and harmony than I have at a gathering. Like, they are all about each other. They take care of each other. If you're walking down the road and somebody's got a bong, they'll let you hit it. Don't ask for a beer, though. I don't know why beers are like gold there. Or if you need water, like, they'll give you water. Like, they really care about each other. And so for people to put a bad name on the Juggalos was crazy, because you go to the gathering of Juggalo, even if you weren't a Juggalo, and you can tell, when you get to the gathering, you can tell those who are diehard Juggalos and those who are coming because it's a cultural experience.
They used to think I'm a policeman.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they'll think you're a narc, but...
But then I start telling them about, like, I start talking about different albums, and I know, and then somebody would come along. I know that, hey, yeah, he's
I think you had to ask me one time. You're like, hey, tell him I'm okay. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, they didn't know. Because I just like, going there. I like the music and all the other bands and the wrestling. I mean,
were you there that year with Tila Tequila?
Oh, yeah, I was at that show. Yeah, when they started, that was terrible.
She kind of brought it on. I mean, they should have done that, but...
Yeah, they were just throwing
how are
stuff
you going to
around.
egg on, like, that?
Yeah. They're hard on some people. They're hard on some people. They're hard on
ex-husband, we don't need to talk.
Yeah, that's right. No, they're hard on you, but it was always fun. I missed that thing. Yeah, that's... Didn't you got along good with the clowns? Experience?
When I was wrestling, they were really smart about it, too.
They knew you.
When I was wrestling, they knew to hate me. They knew I was there for them to hate, and they threw stuff at me, but it was like outside of the ring, they knew I was Micky. Real cool people.
Okay, so let me see. That's okay. So now, the hardcore. So you said I saw in another video that you had to beg Ian to be on it.
Oh yeah.
How long? I mean, how long did you beg him?
It seemed like an attorney, but it had to have been like 4 or 5 months.
And then you got it.
Because I waited until, because I didn't know how to ask him. And then, like, after I started wrestling, I kind of started hinting, And then I started like forcefully hinting. I'm like, you know, if you got an opening, I'm here. And he's like, you're not doing death matches. And I'm like, but I'm a body. And he's like, no. And it was really Pondo that petitioned for me to be able to do death matches. Like, Pondo went out in the ring. I did not expect Pondo to get on the mic and say anything at all. But Pondo went out to the ring and got on the mic. And he's like, you know, we've both been to Japan. We've seen these Japanese women step in the ring and do these hardcore matches. She just wants her chance. What's wrong with her getting a chance? And so it was basically Pondo that changed Ian's mind and let me do it. But he said in order for me to do it, my first death match had to be against him. Kind of like a rite of passage, I guess.
Okay, to protect. So, now, why didn't he want you to do it? What was his reason?
I have no idea. I don't know if it's because I'm a girl.
He never said why?
No, he just said no. I don't know.
He just didn't want. Okay.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's because I was a female. I don't know if it's because he didn't want people thinking that he forced me to do it.
Oh, like
because he does death matches. I don't know what was going through his brain.
Right, yeah,
I just know I kept hearing no, 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 no until Pondo was like, why not?
Right, and then he let you. Okay, and you did good. I was at that first show.
Oh,
I
tried.
Yeah, I was at the longest.
It was a new creature for me.
And on some of them, I've heard that you used to you didn't want guys to go light on you. So now, I remember Brain Damage when you wrestled him.
Yeah.
He told me, he says, I'm like, hey, what's going on? He says, he was like, a little twinkle. And I'm like, what's that? He goes, well, Micky, I got to wrestle Micky. And she said, I said, yeah. He goes, she told me she wants me to hit her and wail on her. You said that to him?
Like a man.
And he goes, yeah, but she's a girl. And then he goes, well, I'm going to look bad because I'm like, you know what I mean? Or he didn't know what to say. So what happened with it?
Up until the match, like he was he wasn't moping.
He was, wasn't he? I mean, a little bit.
I mean, you can tell he wasn't, because Marvin, Brain Damage, whatever. I'm going to call him Marvin.
We'll call him Marvin.
Whatever. He had heavy hands. He wore gloves, but it wasn't to protect other people. Yeah. I'm telling you that right now. Right. And Marvin was known for being heavy-handed. That's why his matches with Necro were so brutal.
Right.
Because they were both just punched each other in the face at full force. And I knew this. And so I asked him to wrestle me like a man, and I saw that he had hesitation. And so did Necro. And this is after I wrestled Necro. And so Necro, we're sitting back there, and I look over, and Necro pushes Marvin up against the wall. And he said, I'm going to tell you something right now. If you don't hit her like I've hit her, you're disrespecting me. And when you get in the back, I'm going to hit you.
Oh, we know that.
And Marvin's like, yes, sir, because Necro is his vet. Yes, sir. He's like, I mean it. He's like, don't you go light on her because she's a girl. I just hit her a couple weeks ago and she could take it. You better fucking hit her like you hit me. He's like, otherwise when she gets back here and you get back here, I'm gonna be mad as hell. So that's why he did what he did.
Make him look bad. Oh, because he set the standard, Necro and you, so, okay.
Because Necro did that barroom fight with me.
Right. Oh, okay. And then he went and did it, and then he went through with it.
Oh, and I was determined to take those punches. You could see me grab my shorts like halfway through while he's wailing me. I was like, I am not putting my hands up. Like, I'm taking these.
Yeah, okay.
He's like, I expected you to, do the buck. I said, no, I was taking them.
Marvin was such a nice guy that he didn't want to do it. Even though it was you wanted it, it's a part of the thing.
He was a sweetheart.
He was a nice guy.
He was like everybody's big bro.
I know. That guy would be so soft-spoken. You'd think he was like a...
It was heartbreaking.
I know. He was a good guy. And sometimes I'd pick him up from the airport and we'd go eat pizza. He loved that city pizza around the corner. You know, yeah. He was good. So, now, so you did the hardcore stuff, then it took off, and you. Now, with the hardcore matches, how much is that like just on the fly in the ring, or like
everything I do is on the fly.
You just go out there and it really just.
It's just like promos. It's just like anything I do. I usually, like I told y'all earlier, with promos, I'm a one-take wonder. I don't know what I'm gonna say until I say it. Yeah. I don't know how it works or why it works, but it does. It's just like with matches. We may figure out how to go home or what to get there for.
Right.
But for everything else, it's a walk and talk. I love walking and talking. That's why I loved Ian's Lethal Lotteries. Because they were a shoot.
You didn't.
You had to walk and talk.
Okay.
Nobody knew who they were wrestling. Nobody knew what the finish was supposed to be. Who was supposed to be up or down. People drew a name out of the hat. The first person came out. Second person drew a name out of the hat. Second person would come out, and you'd go. That's why I loved them. And that kind of follows me with every match I do. Okay,
just wing. Okay. But now, is there like a seniority with you got like a veteran, like like you're gonna wrestle a guy tonight.
Yeah.
Is there like a little seniority? No, you don't pull
No.
seniority. Some people do, don't they?
Here's the thing.
What's that seniority work for?
When you get to the flow of things, and wrestlers, you'll understand what I'm saying. When you get to the flow of things, when you feel the momentum of a match, or you're so comfortable with your own skill set, your own move set, that you know, okay, during certain situations, what you can do in order to progress the match. You build. Okay, let me try this way.
Yeah, take some.
I know. I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain it. I don't like the vet card. I don't like using the vet card. I don't think I have a right to use the vet card. I don't like the word. I will never tell somebody, I'm your vet, you have to listen to me. Because I don't, that's not, I still feel very much like a noob, if I'm being honest. Mm-hmm. So, like, in tonight's match, it'll be give and take. It's going to be, you know, I want him to be able to showcase what he can do. I want to be able to showcase what he can do. I want to make this beautiful art together with me and this other person. That's it. I'm not into whose cock is bigger or, you know, who's got, you know, the bigger balls and can take the bigger shit. I'm into what makes the match good, what makes the fans happy, what makes the promoter happy, what makes my opponent happy. Because at the end of the day, what gets you booked in this business is the fans, promoters, and the workers. If the fans like you, you'll get booked. If the promoter like you, you'll get booked. If the workers like working with you, you'll get booked.
Yeah.
And I like just getting along with everybody. So if I, like with Jimmy, I can tell you right now, I've never been in the ring with him. I can tell you by his promos, I can tell you by the way he approached this match, by the way he has, you know, initiating himself in all this. I can tell you we're going to have chemistry because of how much he puts himself into this. I can tell you that. But I don't know what kind of chemistry yet. And I won't know until we both step through that curtain and feel that vibration.
But now you've never met him?
No.
So now, what's your feelings now that you're going to wrestle a guy you've never met? Are you going to do anything differently? You're going to meet him and talk to him?
I'm going to talk to him. I mean, but you got to look at how he called me out. You got to look at his promos. He's never been disrespectful.
Oh, okay.
He's never, that's the thing that bothers me about certain promos. You know, why disrespect your opponent? Why put them down? Why say, oh, you sucked? And if you beat them, who'd you beat? If they beat you, you just got beat by somebody that you thought was sucked. He's never been disrespectful. Whoever taught him how to do promos, whoever taught him how to approach a match with psychology, did a great job with him. Okay. I know this match tonight's going to be a banger, but it's going to be a surprise to even me on what type of banger.
So you like that kind of, a new guy? You like wrestling a new person?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It's excitement. It's like going on a date.
A new date.
First kiss. First time you have sex. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so it's the excitement of it. Yeah.
Now, has anybody ever tried to pull the seniority thing on you when you were younger? Like, I'm higher than you, and I mean, don't mention names. But
I'm not gonna mention names. There's been times I wrestle a match, and the person will go and start calling the entire thing, and I'm like, oh, well, I do this. Well, I don't know if we're gonna put that in. It doesn't seem like it would fit, and did it like completely shutting me down. And why would you do that to a new kid? Like, you're trying to build up their repertoire. You're trying to build up their confidence and make them, you know, a spot in this business. Why would you do that to them?
Oh, okay. You don't do that.
That's the thing I hated about. So I don't do it to people.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Do unto others.